Hey guys, welcome back. We got some more Project F progress for you today. I went ham on this the last couple days, working after work, just like slaving away on this thing. I was giving updates to Tristan all the time, but obviously as you guys can see, it looks totally different than what it was last time. So the first thing I had to do to even just get the turbo kit on here was modify the downpipe. Previously it was hitting this frame. So what I did is I cut it right at the joint and then kind of angled it and pointed it downwards. So has a better shot to where we're going to be placing the exhaust. I got the whole wire harness loomed up, so it's no longer the bulky, disgusting old wire loom. Now it's just this cloth tape. It's really slimline. It's cut resistant, very nice, and I was able to get it routed on the back. I did take off of this ICT, I think that's what it's called, the ignition coil bracket harness that we thought was supposed to be for it.
Yeah, it turns out that's actually for L67 in an L67 car.
Yeah, with their harness.
It has the harness. This in all these plugs, it has these.
I got the intercooler system, air water heat exchanger bolted up to the frame here, so it's actually hard mounted.
Yep.
We got the pipe, which is 90, and then a 45. On camera and photos, it looks like it's kind of like a hard turn, but it's not. It's a really gradual turn with a 45-degree angle.
Got the power steering pump line made.
Yep, got the power steering pump line made. Got the belt on. Got the temp sensor in, and we got our MAF here.
Got the harness, like most of it, routed behind the engine, like it should.
And got throttle bracket made.
Oh yeah, that was from the North Star that...
I did have to modify it to fit, but now that's on. And I think that's probably about it. A lot of modification to the exhaust, cold side, hot side. Oh yeah, I did get a 45 oil return feed. So that's all bolted up now. Today what we're planning on doing is drinking some water. I mean, we're actually going to be adding some water to it. We have our Griffith radiator here. Or Griffin, I don't know what it is. We were seeing about reusing the old fans, but it doesn't fit. We can cut it. But where it doesn't fit is where the air-to-water intercooler is. So I didn't really take into consideration this when I was making the mount, but this is where we're gonna want it anyways.
Like,
so
if we got it any closer, I don't see how that wouldn't be good for it.
It would be fine, but it would not give us enough clearance to fit those fans. It comes out like 5 or 6 inches anyways.
Yeah,
so.
if we moved it any closer to the exhaust, I don't think that would be good. But I don't think we couldn't even move it closer enough to fit those in there.
Yeah,
if the Radiator comes flush with this, which it will. Yeah. So
the Radiator will sit flush with the cross member here. So we only have a couple inches to work with, so we will need to buy some low profile fans. So if any of you guys are aware of like really good performance slim fans that have just a couple inches of clearance on them, that's what we're gonna be looking for. We might make a shroud. I think just to start, we're just gonna, zip them on. But that's not the biggest deal. Today we're going to be cutting and installing the stand-up radiator. So with the Griffith radiator, all you need to do is cut the bottom tray down here, cut this off so it can sit in this location, and it's a perfect height to sit right under this. You'll get a hole saw, cut a hole here for the fill cap, and then I will basically just weld on tabs that will nutsert onto here right off the sides. So it can actually be pretty simple. We just have to bust out the old angle grinder and start cutting away on this car. We thought originally we're gonna have to like weld to the car somewhere, like reposition the stand, but we don't have to because I can weld to this aluminum. It'll take like 2 seconds. We're gonna go ahead and get started on that. I guess there's a small update on the Bonneville. It is not driving again. More transmission issues. We're going to scan it today and probably bring it back to Cotman's. Cotman's again and again has just not been able to build a reliable transmission for us, even though we have all the best parts and he's spent thousands of dollars with them. They're still screwing up. So we don't know about what the future holds for the Bonneville, what that's going to be.
Yeah, how many more thousands of dollars are they going to want to fix this transmission this time?
Or if it's even worth to keep it at that point. Like, you can't get a good working transmission.
Don't have another car, so.
Well, you got this one and the Tahoe.
Yeah, and they're all
running great.
Fucking great. Reliable as hell.
Tristan has the most cars in this group, and none of them run currently.
Yeah, none of them well, I mean, the Bonneville runs, it just doesn't drive, so the engine's good.
That's the
man.
The
if only I had a spare transmission in this garage. Oh wait, I do, and it doesn't work. Doesn't work for the car.
Yeah.
Great.
We have sale pending on that too.
That's nice. But yep.
You can use that sale to buy your new one.
Now he owes
It will
me
not-
money.
Yeah, true. So I gotta pay off Davis and then have no money left.
Yep.
Yep.
I've been funding Project F for the past month, guys. It's all been me. I've been building it myself and buying the parts for my friend's car.
And that's why Davis needs all the Patreon money he can get to do his Mustang, because he has no money for it.
Yep, I'm trying to build a motor right now, guys. We got no Patreon coming in. What the heck? Subscribe to the Patreon. Just kidding, don't do it if you don't want to, but, you know, at least leave a like on the video.
Yeah,
that'll help us.
You guys be scrapping that Patreon.
You guys better subscribe.
No pressure, except pressure.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the cold side here, just so we have room to kind of like stand in here and start cutting. But what we're gonna do is we're going to cut the bracket off the bottom, and then we're gonna cut this flush, measure everything, of course, for the radiator, and then we're gonna sand it up, see how it fits, get some tabs made of aluminum, nut cert them, weld it on, and they'll pretty much be done for that stand-up radiator. It's a really simple process. There's a lot of forums online about how to do it, so we're just gonna follow that basically. We'll be back. Look how much the disc is gone now.
That is crazy.
Yep.
So
my feet feel full of metal.
Yeah. So what else do you have to cut? Just the sides?
Yeah, so I might need to get a different disc or a new one so I can reach in there.
Right. Oh my god, that disc is done though. That's so funny.
And I'll probably have to cut at the bottom as well.
Oh yeah.
Because I am feeling parts that it connects to. So that's fine. But I'll have to do that under the car, which is probably going to be really...
Not good.
I'm gonna get
yeah,
covered.
not good. Use your welder's helmet.
Yeah.
That would actually be good.
Yeah. Might need to do that.
Well, we'll be right back, guys, after we get a new disc on that grinder and we figure out what exactly we need to cut.
Yeah, that part we're probably going to need to...
Get a different tool on it.
Yeah. It can't reach all the way up there. Or maybe I'll do it from the bottom up.
Oh, that'd probably work. Even with earplugs, that is horrible.
Jesus.
I'm convinced that we should buy a better one of those because it seems pretty useful.
Yeah, our air compressor just needs to be higher capacity.
That and then a better one of those because that was the cheapest one that money can buy.
All right, guys, we're gonna continue cutting this. You can kind of see we're just cutting out the bottom, and then once that's off, it'll come off.
All right, guys, we got that piece off.
Oh yeah.
You can see how it's supported on the back, on the
I'll
bottom.
get the angle grinder, the sanding disc to kind of clean up the edges.
Why, you don't want to cut your hands?
No. So now with that, this will actually fit under there.
Yeah. This is the first time we've actually been able to put it where it's supposed to be.
Well, I guess
true. We have to cut this, but it'll fit, guys. It'll fit. We just forgot about that. That's next.
Yeah. So now I kind of need to angle grind that, and it'll sit in there just very flush.
Well, we'll be back again. I love how that ground is just barely hanging on.
All right, guys, we effectively cut up a car. Congrats.
12 hours later.
Not really, but we got a hole saw. This is a 1 3/4, I believe, or let me just get the exact number. 2 3/4 inch hole saw, and then I'm gonna take the air cutter and kind of just gonna make slots so it's like completely straight, and then we'll just clean that up. But we're running into a couple problems with the radiator design. I can't remember if I already said it, but this outlet is going to be kind of direct in contact with the air to water intercooler currently where it's sat. We need to cut that top hole so it fits in exactly where it's going to be placed, so we're going to just double check that. We might need to find one that is like a dual pass where it enters here and then goes down and then exits there with like a one on that side, because just given the design of the cooling system, you have the inlet right here at the top and then the outlet right there at the bottom. So it would make sense if both were on this side,
at least make it easier.
Yeah, make it easier. Alternatively, what we can do is we can cut this off here, patch it, and then on the bottom basically make a 180 tube, and then from there we can pipe it pretty much however we need it. But we're just going to fit it up first and then make a decision. We looked at Garner More Boost on Instagram because he has a similar swap, and just checked how he had it. His intercooler is just much higher, which gives him the room under that, so probably should have waited to modify the intercooler wherever that is before that. But this isn't the end of the world. I can actually just make a bracket off of it right off here to raise it if we need to. We just have to shorten the charge pipe here and do some other things, but yeah.
So it's still possible.
With the, you know, with fabrication, anything's possible. Just have to get an idea of what we're working with.
Yeah, once we cut those holes, or you know, angle it to where it's straight, we're gonna test fit then and see what we can make happen. I'm really hoping to not have to modify the radiator.
Why?
Because I think it would be better if we didn't have to. But
yeah,
I mean, if we do have to, or if we just buy another one and can return that one, that'll work too.
Yeah, very true.
I would like to just, the least amount of modification will save us time in the long run and simplicity. So
yeah, I don't know.
Love to get a dual pass one.
It doesn't take long to do anything with welding and cutting aluminum. It's so easy to work with. Yeah, if we got a dual pass, that would be nice, you know. Just so it, but they both exit on that side, make it ultra simple.
It would make it ultra simple.
Currently, it comes in here, goes all the way there. Or I guess this is the feed side, technically, because you want it to fill up and then pass over. And that would make sense because this would be the inlet and that'd be the outlet. So that goes there and top goes here. Jeez. All right.
Yep, another pain, but
yeah, we're gonna clean this up and be there. Now we can't use this to lift up the car anymore.
God, no, we can't. Cut off
so this shit's gone. Yeah, this is in here forever now. Never to come out. How we did it before. That's not true. We probably figure out a way.
Bumper bar.
Yep. No, never.
No, but I mean,
no,
it
it's
seems
too,
like it.
we already talked about this. It's too much. It's too low. It's too far out.
Hey, if Isaiah can you know, deadlift this car.
No, our lift can't go that high. It just won't work. All right, guys, we're gonna get started on this or continue more work. God, my brain's dead. I've been inhaling too much aluminum dust. Probably should have used a mask.
Yes.
All right, guys, so we got the radiator kind of all set up where it's going to go. Got the whole saw done. I had to do a little bit more trimming, but as you can see, it is perfectly flush with the core support. If you were just like a stock LS and you were doing a stand-up radiator install, you'd pretty much be done other than like mounting the tabs. I have this just 1/8 inch piece of aluminum. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it to the radiator there. It's kind of a tight fit, but weld it to the radiator, and then right here I'm just going to drill and put a nut cert and then basically replicate on both sides. Have 2 tabs, so I guess if you're doing it like this, you'll just have to be able to weld aluminum. Otherwise, you can probably use something with like the bottom support, maybe modify it some way. There's, you know, forum posts on how to do it without, you know, that level of fabrication, but that's how we're going to do it this way, and it's going to be great. One thing, like we mentioned, is it comes directly in contact where air-to-water intercooler is going to be. If you place it, it comes right up to the bottom, right about here. So there's no way we can make that work. My plan is to get, this is just for representation, this is steel, I can't even use this. My plan on the bottom is to hole saw right here, get a 180-degree aluminum 1.5 inch tubing that's going to come down, and it's going to kind of pipe it over here. So it basically look like that, and we'll be able to just kind of kick it out maybe over or just kind of straight in line, and it'll be pretty low. It'll be lower than the subframe. You will see it under the car though, and with that it'll place a line here where we can get like a flexible heater hose, or we can even build it out as far as we want and 90 it off there. And then we have a straight shot to the water pump side right there, and then the top one is just going to be easy as can be. Goes straight to it.
Yep, that one's gonna be easy.
And then we have the problem of needing fans here as well. So we can get fans from the other side. That's probably what we're going to end up doing, just because
we might have to.
It'll just give us the most clearance with everything.
Yep.
That way it'll just blow it through. Maybe make a shroud if we can. That'd be cool. But I mean, just to get it putting around, just gonna live with that.
I mean, okay, Garner lives in Arizona, didn't have a shroud on his.
Yeah.
Just had 2 fans sitting there.
True,
so,
and we put a 180 thermostat or 170 in there.
Yeah, 180. And since it's, he living in Arizona, don't think it will be much of an issue if it's not an issue already for him. Right?
Also, I think what we should do with this is we should get one of those Prestone kits to check the coolant content. That way we can get the perfect mixture of coolant to water. So we can put majority water in here because water is better at cooling. And because we get to below freezing in, you know, Washington State here. So, you know, that is a little bit of a concern. But if we use a Prestone kit, it'll tell us exactly how much just so we can optimize the cooling on it. But yeah, a lot of modification with this. We are truly hot rodding here.
Yeah, like way more modification than we thought we had to do to these things just because we're following builds of other people, but you know, like nothing's the same.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing's perfectly the same as you know, things here or there are different. Like we have a completely different turbo kit no one else has, so that kind of adds to it.
Yeah.
But the intercooler works so freaking good where he mounted it that we really don't want to change the placement, and even if we did, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah,
it would make even more modifications.
We would have to work on a lot of stuff. If we move it, we're gonna have to change the charge pipe for here and there, and the bracket for it, and then we would still have very restrictive room right here if we're going to continue using this.
So it literally doesn't matter what we do unless we got a different radiator. And I looked for about 20 minutes and I couldn't find exactly what we need because it seems that like it seems like the dual passes. It just needs more length going down,
which we can't
have. We can't have any more length. This is
The
perfect.
tallest radiator we can have,
which is about 17 inches in total length. I think is like 17 and a half. So it's pretty much perfect at 16 right on the core.
Yep.
So it's no bigger, and we can't find it.
But if you guys know of one that has the inlet and outlet on the same side, effectively a dual pass
On
where
the driver's side,
it'll come in up, and then also have the radiator cap on the passenger side, that'd be great.
Yep, and that's no longer than 16 inches tall. And yeah, if you know of one, let us know.
Yeah.
Guaranteed is probably not. But
You know, it's whatever. We'll modify it. We'll make it work.
But yeah, we'll modify it.
Like I said, modifying this, I just need the hole saw and I just need someone to block this off. It literally takes almost like no time to modify aluminum. It really is that fast. So
you know what's funny is like when you messaged me a couple days ago, like, oh yeah, waiting on the hole saw now. I'm like, how many hole saws have we bought for this one project? At least 4 or 5, and now another one.
Yeah, I accidentally canceled the other one that we needed for the charge pipe and the wastegate because for some reason I thought I bought the one that we needed for this, but we already owned it, so I canceled on Amazon. But I'm like, oh shit, that was the wrong one. So we can probably just go to Park Rose and get one. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it. You know, we have it up here. I'm not gonna, you know, get this totally mounted today, not until we know exactly what we're gonna be doing. I don't want to chop this up or weld to it in case we do need to return it. In case we find something else that'll work better.
Yep. So we'll do that at the last possible moment. We found out where the turbo's hitting it. There's actually a mark on the hood.
Right here is where the turbo's hitting it, so we're just gonna have to cut out a bit of that. I think once we bring it up to this level, it'll be fine. Yeah.
And so what I think is like we could just drill some small holes and have the nibbler, and then we have no chance. We have no chance of ruining the hood from the top side. So
that's true.
And actually use that tool again. We've only used it like one time.
And then one thing that we discussed actually off camera before we started is the rest of the downpipe. So this is the only remaining piece of 304 stainless we have. We have a bunch of this galvanized steel.
That's what you use to learn.
Just test welding. And so we'll just not use those sections. We probably don't need that much.
I mean, even if we did, like, we could always grind that off. It doesn't have to be.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we can grind it off. But I think we're gonna go 304 stainless up until there. Down there where it transitions down, we're gonna V-band it, and then for the rest of it we're just gonna use that. Tristan's gonna buy a cheap Advance Auto muffler, and we're just going to think once we get it to about here, it's just going to dump down. We're probably gonna angle it a little bit so it'll just shoot out the exhaust on the side of the car, so it doesn't go just under it. You don't smell anything.
Yep. And then once we're done with other stuff, I'd like to just pipe the exhaust to kick out right in front of the rear tire, and then that will look cool. But we're just trying to get the car running at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean,
a lot of little stuff.
look at this. I mean, once we figure out that and just modify it, which I just need to buy the part and I'll just do it, we will be able to pipe the coolant system. Still need to get the starter on, some of the wiring harness in. I mean, everything else plugged in, all the injectors, the ECU still needs to be plugged in. Some random grounds, I don't know what that goes to. I think that went to the AC, so we don't even need that anymore.
The what?
The what? There's another thing on the other side. We have, I don't know anything about the North Star like wiring adapter. I kind of just plugged them in where I thought they might go.
Well, hey, if you can plug them in physically, then I think that's the way to go.
No, but there's these two are, you know, I don't know which one goes to what.
I mean, like, if it plugs in a certain way.
No, I'm talking about these. That and that.
This and this.
What if they flip?
Yeah, actually, I mean,
I guess we'll
they are the okay. I see where you're going with this. I can see that possibly being a problem. Okay, well, we'll figure that out once we get there.
And then I bought a bunch of vacuum fittings so we can get the vacuum system set up. We just need to tag into it so we get boost reference from the turbo, wastegate, and blow-off valve. The oiling is done for it. This is all tightened and ready to go. We have our belt, throttle cable, the ignition coil bracket. It just needs fluids. We need to connect the drive shaft, torque arm, and I don't know if this is enough clearance for the fuel lines. I don't know what we can do really to route them farther out. I did buy some like soft grip stuff, and we can maybe right here just tap them in or something with the self tappers.
That, or we could make a bracket off this bolt to hold them.
No, that's too complicated.
That's too complicated.
It is.
We could fucking zip tie the motherfuckers.
Well, I know. Zip tying would be fine too. And we're also talking about lowering the whole subframe with 1/2-inch spacers, because the more height on the top motor we can get, the better. I read online, a lot of people are like, no, never do that. But I've also seen that some manufacturers who sell turbo kits for LSs provide subframe spacers. So if like a big name turbo kit company is going to do it, why can't we? I mean, the only thing I can see it messing up is the steering arm will steering arm will be off just a little bit. It'll be, you know, a little bit shorter, but it'll still bolt up. And then maybe the lower control arm alignment, since they're going to be down, it's going to push it up a little bit. So
it gives me
not
a
big problem.
What if Max Being Rods has some?
They do not. Now we need to just connect the rest of the harness. There's some stuff on the transmission, O2 sensors. Still need to weld in O2 bungs. You probably wanted wideband before you start tuning it. Yep, it's coming along, guys. There's just so much to do. But if you guys have any recommendations on something we're missing, or if you know anything about a dual pass radiator that we could use, or if you have one and want to give it to us, or if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, you can do that. But I think that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to leave a like. You know, we're really trying to make this work for you guys, and we will for sure make it work, and it's going to run soon. So be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.